Yeah, so that's a tongue twister, due diligence. Always get it, and all the clients do as well. But we, it is important. The first thing that I look for is the opportunities before I look for the red flags, like you mentioned, and like how to grow it. Like they're the opportunities. Like, so I will look at different things like do they have an email list that they're not currently marketing? Do they have a social media accounts that they're not currently targeting or posting content? When was the last SEO work that they've done, and what was it? And what type of improvements could we do to the SEO to get it ranked higher in the search engines, get more traffic coming in? What type of marketing is being done? Is it working? If it is working, great. Why is it working? So we can double down on it and make that marketing even better. If it's not working, why is it not working? So we can make it better as well. And the key question that I like to ask is why? And why is it like this? Why is it like that? And I know I sound like a child when I ask the why question so much, but it's so good because you get so much information when you're doing your research and due diligence. So first of all, when I'm scanning for businesses, I look for all these opportunities of like, how can I grow this business? And what I just rattled off there is just like a real snippet. That's what goes on in my brain. I put it out on paper and into other forms of like education that people can consume. But when it comes to the point where I look for like red flags, we call them red flags, or things that raise something that we need to check out, that's where we dig into the deep due diligence and finding out like, all right, what SEO work has been done, and has there been any black hat SEO? For people listening, you got the two different types of SEO: white hat, black hat, grey in the middle. Black hat, not so good. Well, not good at all, especially according to the new update on Google. But yeah, so we check out what are some things that are concerning, and then ask those harder questions to the sellers. And that can be anything through the marketing, through the SEO, through the competition, financials, and a few other things that we look for as well. So yeah, pointing out those red flags is really, really, really important. Things that you can't see. Yeah.
Cool. And have you, I guess, like, what's the weirdest sort of red flag that you've seen in the due diligence process?
Yeah, so there's been so many. One last week. There's one of the guys posted in the group. He's like, "Oh, this person wants to sell their site, and they want to sell the Australian domain with the .com.au." And he said, "Is it something I should be cautious of, that the person who's selling it wants to have me sign a document or agreement that he can still trade his services and products in Australia, even if I buy the .com.au?" And that's a huge red flag. And that was quite weird for me to be asked that question. Somebody that's a total beginner to this space, which is it's a fair question, but that raises a massive red flag. Like, why would you buy a business off somebody and allow them to keep trading, which is going to be your competition, and they're already way more built up than what you've just bought?
Right. Weird.
So that was quite a weird one. Yes, odd.
Have you had, from the financial perspective, like, I know as an entrepreneur who didn't know anything about, business or marketing or doing anything on my own, it was a little shaky. Luckily I could like work a spreadsheet pretty good, but it was a little shaky, like keeping track of the books. And, I think I wrapped it up pretty tight early on, but have you seen just like terrible books where, someone is saying they're making a lot of money, but then when you start looking, there's a lot of empty spaces in this story of profit?
Oh, it's so common. It's so common. You've got people that are all over marketplaces, and Flipper's really cleaning this up, which is really good, because I just spoke to the Flipper CEO a couple of weeks back, and they're putting some tools in place to prevent this. But there have been, and people that buy websites off a platform here in Australia, it's called Gumtree. It's much like eBay, but you can sell just products Australia wide, and people sell websites, even on eBay and this place called Gumtree. And one person wrote me probably a year or 2 years ago, oh, hey, Jaryd, I really want to buy this website. It's $15,000 to buy it, and it's making $12,000 a month. Do you think this is a good investment? And anybody that sees those numbers is like, that's awesome. Like, get it. Like, that's such a good deal. But it's just so unrealistic.
Right.
Like, and I just wrote back to him like, no, that's terrible. It's just why would somebody sell something worth $15,000, or something for $15,000 when it's only making 12? And yeah, that's very common to see that, where businesses are selling for like $10,000 and they're making $2,000 a month, or $100,000 and they're making $50,000 a month. And you're like, it's just not realistic. The multiple is very different these days. Mm-hmm. And so that's something to very be wary of. I have had personally a website that I bought. My second business is I bought one, and the currency, it was an Aussie business and it was being sold in US dollars, but it was using a company in a different country with a different currency. So there's 3 currencies that I had to convert, and the books on the international currency that wasn't Aussie or US dollars was like so hard to understand. And I put my hand up. I was like, Dad, just like, my dad loves like accounting type stuff and doing book work. I was like, dude, can you please just like look at this? Because I don't get it. It's a great business. I can see it's making great money, but I just don't get it.
Yeah.
So, and that's a huge tip for everybody is put your hand up for help when you want to do any sort of investing or achieve any level of success, I reckon.